Hello, my name is Noah Gomez, and today I want to talk a little bit about green roofs. More specifically, I want to talk about why I believe that green roofs should be more commonly implemented into metropolitan areas. Before I do this, however, I want to talk about what exactly a green roof is. A green roof is pretty self-explanatory as it's a layer of vegetation over a waterproofing system on top of a roof. Alongside this, you're going to have two types of green roofs. You're going to have intensive and you're going to have extensive green roofs. Intensive, you can kind of think of as a garden or a park on top of a roof. It's going to be very pleasing to the eye and allow for a lot of public interaction, as it's essentially, like I said, it's essentially a park on top of a roof. On the other hand, you're going to have extensive rooftops. So extensive rooftops are going to not allow for this public interaction, as their main purpose and their sole existence is essentially for the environmental benefits that the vegetation has to offer. So now that you kind of have an idea of what a green roof is and the different types, let's move on to the benefits and what impacts they can make onto the metropolitan area. I'm going to start with the lower impacting benefits and move my way up the chain. So one thing I've kind of already touched up on is how these green roofs are going to be pleasing to the eye. So they're overall going to improve the aesthetic of the area that they're implemented in. Because these green roofs are undoubtedly going to be more pleasing to the eye than these ordinary rooftops that we see today. These ordinary rooftops that we see today are asphalt or tiles, and this lively greenery is definitely going to be more aesthetically pleasing to the area. The next benefit is actually not one for us, but one for the wildlife. Green roofs are known to increase the number of wildlife habitats in the area. And when you think of metropolitan areas, we normally take away these animals' habitats, so green roofs are actually a chance for us to give back to these animals that we're taking away from and give them a new place to stay. Lastly, for the lower impacted benefits, we're going to have the reduced noise pollution. So these green roofs can actually, through their vegetation and their soil mixture, they can actually block out the outcoming sound going into the buildings through these green roofs. And this can be somewhat crucial as these densely populated areas of metropolitan areas can actually get pretty noisy throughout many times. So this reduced noise pollution can actually be pretty helpful. Now that we have the lower impacting benefits kind of covered, let's move on to some of the more key benefits of the green roofs. So the first one is going to be the reduced heating and cooling loads. So these green roofs can kind of act as like super insulators, keeping people warmer during the winter and colder during the summer. German studies show that green roofs help a home retain up to 50% of the heat typically lost to convection. A Canadian study found that green roofs reduce the average daily demand for air conditioning by up to 75% in the spring and summer. So this is pretty huge. Metropolitan areas are known to have an issue with energy conservation, and these green roofs are a way to combat that. They're able to have people spending less energy but having the same results of staying warm or keeping cool when they need to. So next, we're going to have the green roofs. A key benefit is the green roof's ability to help diminish the urban heat island effect. So the urban heat island effect is the increase in temperature in developed areas that results from removing vegetation to build hardscapes such as homes, shops, and parking lots. So by doing we would be basically doing the complete opposite through the implementation of green roofs. We're going to be increasing vegetation rather than taking it away. We're not going to be increasing these hardscapes, but we are going to be increasing vegetation, which is going to help combat this urban heat island effect. So a last impacting benefit is going to be the decrease of overall CO2 emissions. So this one's pretty straightforward. As you know, the increase of vegetation, these vegetations are going to act as carbon sinks. And these carbon sinks are going to intake CO2 and release oxygen, resulting in cleaner air overall. So you might be wondering as to this point, why aren't green roofs being implemented? Why aren't they a norm? Why aren't people buying into this? And that's the reason. They're not buying into it. The initial cost is kind of the sole purpose as to why people aren't going all into green roofs, as they're $8 per square foot compared to the normal roofs being $1.25 per square foot. But I kind of think of it as an investment. You kind of have to invest in these green roofs. They're not only going to be providing all the benefits I've already listed, but they're also known to last 2 to 3 times longer than these normal roofs. So you kind of have to think of it as a long-term investment. as they're not only going to have all these other benefits, but they're also going to last longer. So overall, I feel like that green roofs can be a huge help to the metropolitan area and combat some of the issues that it has shown to already have. And overall, I think they can just be a very useful thing that we can implement.